Hello, lovelies. It's G here from Golden Thread Tarot. How are you guys doing today? I'm here to bring you another channel message. I hope this message finds you blessed and full of abundance. Okay, you guys, I just took a nap, and when I woke up from this nap, I had like really crazy. It was so odd, so odd of a dream, but also unrelated. Well, unrelated to this message to that dream. I woke up with like this huge download that I knew that I had to sit down and record and film this. So I'm going to talk for a little bit, and then I'm going to start pulling cards on it with some more, okay? Yeah, 10 of Cups on the back of the deck. So, there is a person, okay, that is energetically reaching out or energetically, you and this person are marrying each other, okay? This person is going through a massive awakening and opening up of their emotions and of their feelings towards you and towards a lot of other things. It's not just you, it's towards a lot of other things in this person's life, right? Spirit kept showing me like a cup, kind of like the Ace of Cups, where it's just like flowing and bubbling. It's like a cup, and it had all this bubbling like liquid in it, and the liquid was like bubbling and flowing over. And it's like this person kept trying to like come up like the sides of the cup, like, you know, it was like running over, and they were just like trying to like put the liquid back in the cup, and it wasn't working. And the Spirit showed me the Tower card, the Star card, the Ace of Cups, that card, where it was just like all of this energy is just like busting out of this person, right? And they're having a massive heart chakra opening as well as a throat chakra opening as well. They are going to be unable to hold back all of the feelings that they have been purging and process. It's like this person has been purging and processing, and then there is just this massive like boom of a lot of things they're going through. And a butterfly just flew by my window. So this person's going through a major transformational energy in their life, and it's happening like really suddenly, which is that Tower card moment. On the other side of it is you, and you are also processing a lot of information and going through a heart chakra opening, because you are realizing that it's like this feeling of like, I don't have to do it alone. I don't have to do it alone. And I think this person is also experiencing that kind of energy as well. They're experiencing it in a different way, but you, collective, if you are really going to resonate with this, are experiencing a lot of, I don't have to do this alone. It's 12:21 on the clock right now. I wonder if I can catch that. Yeah. 12:21. Hello. Do you want to show? Anyway, 12:21 on the clock right now. That's crazy. So you guys are going through a lot of the same, this marrying energy is happening. Yeah. 12:21. So it's this crazy marrying energy that's happening right now between the two of you. And I'm going to say marrying about 3 more times. Okay. Sorry. Anyway, and it's just this, it was such a major download. I literally had to like jump up and like take a shower. Look at that, right? Their cup is flowing over for their feelings towards you. And for you, Empress energy, right? You're in this very like nurturing yourself, taking care of yourself, and realizing, I don't have to do it alone. It's going to be okay. I want to be able to trust myself. Because something I want to share with you guys is that about my personal journey, I just want to say this, right? And maybe some of you guys will resonate with that as well. A big part of my journey of going through and breaking away from my codependency has also been kind of like this reverse codependency of kind of jumping back to the other side of the scale and being fiercely independent, and having to work on my trust issues on the other side of like my Tower moments of realizing, you know, what I've been doing, what other people have been doing, what has hurt me, who were the karmics, and identifying those, and kind of working through my trust issues on the other side of having those kind of like karmic Tower moments where it was like, dun dun dun, you're like that person and this person and that person and you and doing this, and oh my gosh, having that kind of, and you, all these enemies, kind of energy. And I had to really kind of recover from that. I really had to work through it. And I have had to really be like, okay, like I need to know that it's okay for me to want to be with someone. Because sometimes on this journey, um, we can have a lot of people telling us like, you don't need to need anybody, you don't need to need your twin flame, you don't need to need your soulmates, you don't need, and it's true, you don't. But there is nothing wrong with wanting to be with somebody, because it is a part of our human nature to want a partner, to want to have a tribe, to want to have people around you that love you, that support you, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I feel like the particular Divine Feminine collective that I'm tapping into is been working on that. Yeah, it's just like this. I almost said Seven of Swords, but it's kind of like the sneaky energy of like sneaking away, and kind of the lessons kind of like sneaking up on you. The Seven of Swords also can be about walking away from things from the past, yeah, and really embracing and understanding what emotions you're really going through. And instead of hiding those, instead of feeling like you have to process that and go through it by yourself, realizing that you really don't, right? So what's going on? What else is going on in this person's life, Spirit, on the other side of this? Yeah. So Two of Wands. I almost said Two of Swords. They are really having, wow. I'm just going to go ahead. This person is being represented here by this King of Cups, who is in hermit mode, going inside, figuring out what's going to bring their ultimate happiness, right? Is that the Tower? Yep. So on the other side of this Tower moment, on the other side of this death process, right? On the other side of that is this energy of finding what ultimately is going to make them happy, right? And it's something that's been hidden to them. They're right. The illusions in their life are kind of falling and being illuminated to them, right? And a big part of their thing that they're having to really process and work on is finding a different solution, right? Maybe perhaps, having those tower moments where old paradigms in this person's mind of how they've been taught to process their emotions or process things, how they've been taught to love, how they've been taught to look at friends and family and the expectations that they've had. I really get that both people on both sides of this have really been, and I do get really strong soulmate vibes out of these two people, have really been taught that um, they are to always be the givers, or they are to always be, yeah, it's like giving in a way that they are always being asked to overly receive other people's energy and other people's problems, so that in that they're, okay, I give my time, I give my energy, I give my love, I give my acceptance, I give my understanding, I give. Okay, now what about receiving? What about getting? What about having to do, not feeling like I'm always the one taking, or I'm always the one, giving up my energy, when it comes to, okay, now it's your turn, feeling like I can't trust people to do that because I haven't had a person who has been willing to, actually give back as much energy as they will just take and take and take. And so a part of that is acknowledging, right? We are responsible for how much energy we just allow people to take and take and take and take from us, right? So a part of that is acknowledging, okay, I need to stop being so overly giving to people who don't give back to me, as well as I need to be comfortable with actually allowing people, because it's not what I'm used to, actually allowing people who are givers to come into my life, and be able to trust that, and trust that if they do give, they're not giving in for the purpose of just being able to get in and be able to take from me, right? I think that both people are processing that at the same time. Yeah, that came right back out, right? Allowing this part of themselves to go, right? And a part of that is acknowledging, because I feel like on this side of it, the person that's being represented here by the King of Cups has had a hard time acknowledging that that is kind of a toxic mindset, that is an issue, that the people around them Because I feel like this person didn't want to acknowledge that, if I acknowledge that this has been an issue, then I have to acknowledge that people have been taking advantage of me, that people have been taking from me, that, my friends or my family has actually been, kind of doing things in a toxic way. And I have been allowing that to happen, right? And this person did not want to really admit that to themselves, right? They drank all of the Kool-Aid, right? Like they were totally in it thinking, no, this is just how life is. That's how I am. This is how I'm expected to be. This is how I'm supposed to be. And if I am any other way, I'm the one that's being selfish. I'm the one that's being, I'm the one that is not just giving and giving and giving. And I also don't want to acknowledge and face the pain that people, friends and family and my ex, relationships and things have been that toxic to me, right? They wanted to run away from that. Yeah. Right. And so now they're in this state of being faced with it and having this tower moment of, no, like, no, it was effed up. No, I did have some role and some accountability to take in this, but also I think it's been really hard for this other person to really admit how much that's hurt them, how much it's hurt them that people in their life haven't been there for them. Because I feel like this person likes to view themselves as a very independent person that doesn't need anybody, even though in some type of way they have always been that person that's always they've been that person that's always been expected to give and give and give and give and give. And they've always been in relationships, friendships, family relationships that the people they've been closest to have always been people that have always been takers, right? Yeah. And so now things are, with this justice card, now things are balancing out for this person. And I really feel like this person is definitely, with this Ten of Swords, it's giving me big dark night, dark night of the soul energy, where this person is finally facing all these towers and facing all these betrayals, facing the truth, right? The truth has finally come out, right? And it's something big has happened in this person's life where it's like that final sword, right? That final sword. But it's also given me finally like that person is finally taking that arm, right? And I'm seeing the Eight of Swords as well, where they're like cutting off the bond, where they're taking those swords out and finally being like, okay, I have to admit the truth. I've been being betrayed. I've been betraying other people. I've also been a person kind of manipulating other people in a way. I've been manipulating, myself. I need to face this. I need to deal with this. This has been really slow coming for this person, but now it's just like overflowing and bubbling up in this person. I feel it. Yeah, exactly. They've been denying it. They've been like, nope, I don't want to see the realization. I don't want to put myself, I don't want to, right? Because the hangman is a person that puts themselves through a great amount of pain, and it's a person that puts themselves up in that tree and puts themselves in a position where they're almost dead, right? To get the reality, to receive the awakening that they need. They've pushed themselves all the way to the edge, which is like, I'm willing to endure the pain of facing my past, facing my issues, facing the truth about myself and about my past actions and about other people's past actions. And it takes an amount of being willing to face that pain, to they're showing me the strength card. They're showing, being able to face that pain instead of just shoving it down inside and not acknowledging it, right? It takes an amount of strength to get to the point where you're like, okay, I'm gonna face it. And I feel like that's where one person is in this, where they're like, okay, I'm finally really, really facing it and really understanding it and acknowledging it. And it's like, where do I go from here? Where do I go from where, okay, the smoke, the tower has fallen, the smoke is kind of clearing, I'm seeing the truth, I finally acknowledged the truth. Now where do I go? How do I start rebuilding? How do I start healing and recovering? Like, okay, now that I know that this is a toxic mindset, how do I rebuild a healthier mindset? Right? And I'm hearing consuming a lot of content. And there's that Seven of Swords, right? Yeah. And this person is a thinker. They're in their head a lot. You know, they're imagining, they're fantasizing, they're playing out conversations. This is the type of person that would play out conversations in their mind before, after they happened. You know, that type of person that's like, I wish I had said this, or I wish I had said that, or when I go to this person, I'm going to say this, and they might say this, and if they say this, I'll say that, and if they say this, I'll say that. You know, that kind of energy, that kind of person. But I also feel like in the past, this person was kind of like the magician energy, where they might have really played things out like worst case scenario, and then they kind of have those self fulfilling prophecy kind of energy, where it's like you play out worst case scenario. There's the strength card, right? Worst case scenario is everything falls on my back. I have to be the strong one. I have to be the one that holds everything together, and I have to hold myself together in this whole situation together. I really feel like this person has been gaslit a lot in their life, where it's like they're the ones always getting dumped on and always taking on everybody else's responsibilities and taking on everybody else's energies, and but then they constantly get told they're the weak one, or they're the one that's so sensitive, or they're the one that just can't handle things, um, because in the end, the people they've had around them have felt free to not have to live in those emotions, because they've always dumped those emotions and dumped those things on somebody else. And then they've been free to just be like, I feel so much better. I feel so much lighter. And then they turn around and look at the person they just dumped all of their stuff on, and they see all the stuff that they dumped on that person, and they're just like, geez, you really need to get it together. And it's like, are you serious? Like, I'm having to struggle twice as hard because of all the shit you're always dumping on top of me. So I feel like this person needs to learn. If you are this person, you identify with being more this King of Cups, you need to learn how to acknowledge that you have been that very empathic person, that you've been that kind of tower moment for other people, that you've been that transmuter, and you need to learn how to cleanse your energy. You need to learn how to protect your own energy. You might even need to learn how to repair your auric or your energetic field, from mental and spiritual and emotional attacks that you might have endured from other people, from possibly even narcissistic people, or just really manipulative or selfish people in general in your life. Whoever these people are that have been always making you feel like you're the weak one, because but at the same time, you're also the one bearing all the emotional weight of everyone around you. So you look like you're always struggling emotionally because everybody else has always dumped their emotions on you. So yeah, compared to them not even dealing with their own emotions, they look at you, who's not only dealing with your emotions, but everybody else's emotions around you. And you seem like you're always emotionally struggling. And so they're just like, wow, this person's really emotionally weak. When the truth is, you're 10 times stronger than them, because you've always been holding on to your emotions, their emotions, all these other people's emotions, but all they see is their emotions that they've dumped onto you. So, and I went through this too, having to open up and realize, like, wow, um, I need to learn how to protect my energy. I need to learn how to tell other people no, how to tell other people I'm not dealing with this, and leave their emotions on them to deal with, right? Or even if it's a situation where there's like friends and things like that, where if they won't stop emotionally dumping on you, you can walk away from them. You can create distance between all of you. It is not your emotional responsibility, just because you felt like it has always been your emotional responsibility to take care of those people, whether or not you acknowledged it or not. That's what you've been doing. And people like that, they're just going to keep dumping on you, right? So it's about setting up those firm boundaries in your life, whether it's energetically, or it's about physically too. When people ask you, and they and oh, if you're in a situation where you are with people, and if they ask you to do something and you say no, they're going to get really, not just like, oh, okay, you can't, disappointed, upset, but in a situation where it's like, are you serious? What about this? And what about that? If you know that if you have this, like, oh, well, I better say yes, because I know that I'll have to pay for it in some other way. In some other way, they'll get back at me, whether it's emotionally, or next time I need something, they won't be there for me. That's a hint that those people don't have proper boundaries, and they have way more energetic expectations out of you than they're going to return. So it's just about learning how to identify those people in your life and be like, zip, like, nope, dip, dodge, like, nope, I'm good. Nope, I'm good. Exactly. Right? It's about learning how to dip and dodge around, those people. And also, because you're not always going to be able to avoid these people, because some of these people could be, your bosses or people or your coworkers or people like that are around you. So you also simultaneously, or your family, that perhaps maybe you can't, put as much separation in yourself with, like, you're still going to have to deal with them eventually, right? You need to learn how to energetically give yourself that space, repair that energy within you, replenish yourself, and how to, once you start self-replenishing, how to reserve that energy for yourself, right? Yeah. And that's the whole new cycle that this person is issuing into their life, for sure. Yeah. In a state of letting go of the fears that if they're not there for other people, they'll be abandoned, right? Well, if you're not going to do this for me, what good are you? Why are you here? Why should I give you the scraps that I give you if you're not going to give me, you know, you've always been fine with giving me 10 cakes and then getting the scraps. Like, spirit is like, this is the equivalent of somebody coming to you and being like, I need 10 cakes and I need them right now. And you go and you learn how to bake and you learn how to cook and you go and you create like 10 fancy gourmet cakes free of charge, and you give it to this person. And then when you're like, can I have a piece of one of these cakes that you need? And this person's like, here, you can lick the icing off of one candle off of a cake. And you're like, okay, thank you. Because you're really scared that if you ask for something, if you have expectations for something, or if you expect to get paid for your work, people won't even come to you at all. And it's like, those types of people won't come to you. Other people who don't have a problem with you setting boundaries, with you being like, no, I do have expectations as to what you need to give back. This relationship needs to be a free exchange between the two of us, right? It needs to be an equal exchange between the two of us. It's not going to be me all giving, and then when I say, hey, you're not giving as much back, they go, oh my God, why you shouldn't expect, you should just freely give and never expect anything back. What's your problem? The problem is that person is a taker that has an issue with being there for people who they expect to be there for them. All right. So in this new cycle, you're going to find a lot more of that foundation inside of yourself. This person is. You or this person, whoever this is, right? And you're going to be facing a lot more of these fears and these anxieties around these karmic people that are in your life, right? Who you decide to work with, who you decide to build with. And I just saw the nine of wands. So a lot of karmic lessons here and all of this that you've been going through in the past. And it's about acknowledging and getting to a place where you're like, okay, it's not, I can see why it happened. That doesn't make it okay, but I can see why it happened. And I can see what lessons I'm supposed to be learning from all this heartbreak that I've gone through in the past, right? Okay, thank you. Then Spirit said, let's talk about the other person, the Empress. Oh, yeah. And on the other side of this, yeah. Oh, I can tell so much. This person has just been keeping so much to themselves and just like not talking and not expressing that they need things, that they need other people, not acknowledging that they need other people. Their throat chakra is just like, I gotta talk to. Just a second. All right, sorry about that. So with this other person, ooh, Nine of Swords. I also feel like energetically this person is facing abandonment issues, is also facing, it's less like what has happened with me and other people and more so like internally. Or no. I'm going to pull another card on this. It's a little bit of both. Like I said, they are marrying each other. Hey. What's doing? Hey. I got my cards out. You can't sit here. She wants to sit in my arms. That's her issue. That's her thing right now. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Mm-mm. No, ma'am. Sit right there. No. Sit right there. No, ma'am. Okay. Oh, Lord. Okay. I'm sorry. You're going to have to get down, sweetie. I know. Okay. This other person this other person is waiting for conclusions in their life. They are feeling a lot of anxiety about getting closure for things that have happened in the past. Also learning how to be unapologetic about the things that they know they need. Being okay with asking for help, being okay with asking for other people to be there for them. So that's what I was saying. Like, these people are marrying each other in a way. Like, they're just processing it in slightly different ways, but they are marrying each other in what they want and what they need. This Empress is facing a lot of their fears. A lot of their fears and a lot of anxiety around. Yeah, they're healing. They're doing so much healing. Three of Swords, remembers. Healing a lot of heart chakra energy here as well. I feel like this person has already done what this person is doing over here, which is facing the truth of situations. I feel like this person has already done that, and this person is closer in the stage of healing. Healing those issues that this person is now facing. Or maybe Spirit wants to say it's not really like one person is really like technically like further along in the path or anything like that. It's just like they're healing. um they're healing kind of the same issues in different ways, and also it's like different. They're showing me like layers, so it's like a different layer of healing that they're both working on. Oh, wow. Knight of Swords and Knight of Cups. This person is ready to make a move. This person is already making movements. Is already making the moves that they need to. It's like trusting their intuition and acting. Going forward and acting. Where this other person is in the Knight of Pentacles energy, which is slowly realizing, taking their time, setting it up. This person is a little bit more, it's giving me kind of like rushing forward and then kind of slowing down, and then rushing forward and then slowing down. This person is going at a steady, slow pace forward, when this other person is kind of experiencing their healing more, and like they'll rush, not rush into it, but it's like they'll have like sudden realizations that like just like boom, 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 and then they'll kind of have a slower processing. They might even step back a few steps, or it's kind of giving me this sense of, it's like, oh my gosh, I made this sudden realization. Okay, now let me step back a little bit and have, because I made this realization, now something else that I was processing makes a lot more sense. Okay, I see what was happening here. And then once they kind of process that and catch up, then boom, like a big another step happens. And then it's like, okay, now slow down, rest, process. Okay, now I can kind of step a little bit back and understand more of what I was processing in my like rest, or kind of, yeah. So it's giving me this stepping forward, then stepping a little bit back, peering back, and then rushing forward, and then peering back. So yeah, so they're handling their healing in different ways, just because energetically they're on, I don't want to say different vibrations, because they are healing the same issues. They're just choosing to heal in different ways. Um, they're energetically healing in different ways. And I don't feel like one's better than the other. It's just about what really helps that person. But I definitely feel like this Empress feels too like a lot is on their, a lot, they're facing a lot on their shoulders. And I feel like as well, I feel like both of these people are on the verge of another big like boom moment here. Because I said that right in the very beginning, right? Somebody here is facing this moment of like a tower moment of like a big overflowing of this. They're both feeling the weight of one, maybe this connection, or two, like finding the stability and the understanding, and finding, I want to say, a safe space. This Four of Wands is reminding me of a safe space. They're both healing in their own ways, at their own paces, going towards this feeling of finding the safe space where they can grow in different ways, right? um it's like, okay, I don't have to, it's kind of like the difference. Sorry, it's kind of like the difference between, okay, I'm healing, I'm healing, I'm healing, I'm healing, I'm healing. Okay, now I've healed that part, and so now I can turn my focus more so on experiences, and less like reflecting backwards, looking backwards, reflecting on myself, reflecting on other people. Okay, now I'm kind of turning towards a cycle of new experiences. And then as those new experiences come in, it's going to help me turn around and reflect back on what I've already been through as well. In my next kind of pause reflective, they're showing me the Four of Swords in my mind. So this kind of like, yeah. So I'm feeling that you might identify with one or the other in this circumstance. If you identify more with the Empress, you might have found it very frustrating that you feel this other person moving slower than you. And if you're this other person, you might find it really frustrating that this Empress seems to like speed ahead, and then you're like, just when you feel like you're catching up energetically to them, they go shoom and shoom forward, and you're like, oh my God, really? So I really feel like there are lessons in how, and in accepting the difference in how each other is healing as well. Yeah, Eight of Swords, right? That's a limiting mindset that I feel like both people are understanding and processing about the other one, because I definitely feel like energetically these two people are connected, and they can definitely feel each other. They can definitely help process what each other is going through. Or maybe perhaps you are here because you need to understand a deeper level of the difference energetically that both of you are going through. Both of you are in this hermit mode, like really doing this reflection, right? Yeah. And there's movement here because of this reflection that's happening here, right? And I'm being guided to point out the fact that, like the hermit has the star energy here, right? They've gone on this deep retreat, and this deep to find this star energy, to find this healing energy, right? To find this wheel of fortune, their fate, their destiny, what they are supposed to be doing, to find this temperance, this balancing out of energies, not only within themselves, but between the two of them as well, right? Processing these blessings that they're going through. And they've both been energetically, because I saw the Magician card back there too, energetically processing this and Manifesting. Gosh, why couldn't I think of the word manifesting? Because I think neither one of them understand exactly how much they are manifesting all this healing into their life, because maybe perhaps it looks different than they expected it to look, right? Some of us expect it to basically look like, right, like that pinnacle, like a boom, like falling right into your, being really obvious. And then sometimes it's like, you go through an experience, you process it, you move on from it. And as you're growing and learning, you reflect back and you're like, wow, you know, in the end, that was a blessing. That was what I asked for. I asked to know the truth, or I asked to, I asked to be healed about this particular thing. And it didn't just show up at my door in the form of a completely healed relationship. It actually showed up at my door in the sense of a actually kind of toxic relationship. But in the end, I ended up learning the lesson that I needed to learn so that I can actually come into alignment with that energy within myself. I literally just asked what's going on with the energy between these two, because I was thinking, I was like, this one person is in an Empress mode and this other person is in a King of Cups mode, and then the Queen of Cups popped out. So they are emotionally processing a lot of the same energy. That's so funny. I would laugh so hard if the Emperor card popped out. There's the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups I was talking about, right? So I do feel like energetically these two people are working together. And it's funny, this person is more in like a hermit mode than they are emperor, but but the hermit in like the story of the Fool's Journey, the hermit is an emperor that failed to become an emperor and instead, went up the mountain and went into isolation to find themselves, and then came back the wise person, right? Yeah, this has been happening for a long time. I feel like it's been a long journey for this person. But I definitely feel like these two, although, yeah, I think that's why it feels like soulmate energy here, because emotionally these people are going through the same thing. King of Cups, Queen of Cups. And it might not so much be like Emperor, Empress energy, but it is giving me a sense of energetically, emotionally, these two people are each other's wish fulfillment, right? Which is why I said I got really strong soulmate vibes, confirmation, immediate confirmation, the lovers, soulmate energy off these two people. Ace of Cups, Nine of I almost said swords again, no, Nine of Wands. So these overflowing lessons of, yeah, right? These karmic lessons, right? For me, nine of Wands is about karmic lessons. Is about going through the pain and finding wisdom on the other side of what you've been experiencing. Knowing how to defend yourself, how to stand up for yourself, because you are this wounded warrior that, it's touching me so hard to like look how this person is like looking over at this Ace of Cups like, I don't know, can I trust this, because I've been so hurt before in the past, and it's kind of like this feeling of having to learn how to face those trust issues, how to face a blessing when it's, when it's given to you, and all this overflowing energy and blessings and a brand new beginning and peace and love and understanding is given to you, to allow it to come in, to not allow the pain that you've been through and the lessons you've been through in the past to become a block, right? Right? So I feel like Three of Wands, Ace of Wands. Yeah, it's giving me both of these people waiting for that aha, for that like, yes, this is what I do, this is where I'm going, this is it moment. Feeling like it's just out of their reach. It's just out of... But I feel like it's this way on purpose. I feel like spirit is like, I don't want, to hand you a guidebook. First you do this, then you do this, then you do this, then you do this, then you do this, and the result of that will be this, right? Part of it is learning, right? Actually genuinely learning and having that free will to really choose this, right? And it's funny, the 3 and the 1, 4 of Wands, right? Finding that peace, that safe place, that balance, both of you searching, both of you wanting to find that in someone else as well as in yourself, right? So part of this is having that free will to really choose to go on this journey, right? Because the Page of Wands is somebody who has finally received this Ace of Wands, this I know what I'm doing. And now that I have this news and I've received this news, I can go on this journey, right? I can start this. But it is about blocking it out in some type of way. With that 2 of Swords there. Having to trust and make a choice even when you're blind as to what the result of the choice is going to bring about, because I feel like both of these people probably have control issues because of it's like a self-defense mechanism. Because it's like, I need to know what's going to happen 10 steps ahead so I can prepare for it, because I know something is going to happen. I'm always constantly waiting for that person that I am trusting or that person that I have around me to betray me. Or I'm constantly waiting for, when's the other shoe going to drop? When is this person that I have beside me or these people that I have around me, when are they going to betray me? When are they going to abandon me? When is that going to happen? I'm constantly waiting for that to happen. I'm constantly waiting. So I need to know what's going to happen 10 steps ahead of time so that I can feel at peace. When spirit, the big lesson here between these 2 people is go ahead and allowing themselves, giving themselves that peace already, and having the knowledge and the understanding and to create that safe space for themselves so they don't have to be waiting, right? So it's like understanding, like I was explaining before with this King of Cups energy, how to protect themselves, how to energetically heal themselves, how to acknowledge the red flags that they see in people and be able to avoid those people if possible, and if not, be able to protect their energy from those people and have those boundaries up, is what's going to give these 2 people that safe space to be able to really develop in ways they were not allowed to or they were not able to, because they never felt that energetic safeness to be able to do that, because it was always like, well, I have to do it by myself because everybody else is going to end up stabbing me in the back or betray me in some way. So it's like I need to give so that I will be of use so that people won't leave me, but then constantly always waiting for those people to leave you anyway, because in the past maybe it always happened because a user would come into your life and use you up, and then be like and then be like right, and then be like, oh, like I've used you up now, or oh, if you ever had the gall to stand up and say, okay, what about me, what about my turn out of your life, oh, no, that's your problem, out of your life they went. And it's about understanding that that doesn't have to happen anymore, as long as you are making that safe space for yourself, as long as you are learning from those lessons, from the love lessons that you've experienced in the past, and not just carrying around the heavy burden of, kind of in a sense of, a victim mentality of people are always going to end up hurting me. And so although I really want somebody to give me that safe space, I'm never trusting that somebody actually will. Ooh, sorry. Had to, such a heavy download. Okay. Ten of Cups. Yeah. So the Ten of Cups started this reading, and here it is ending it. My spirits love to do that. They love to be like, and back around, you know? So yeah, Ten of Cups. That's how these people are going to find that happiness. Stop waiting for your happiness to just suddenly be there, and allow it to grow. Allow it to get there. Stop, I'm just waiting for this fantasy, for that perfect relationship, or for this to come about. But it's like, it will come when you allow it to grow. And it can be very frustrating to acknowledge, like, oh, I'm the one staying attached to all these people that end up hurting me. Yes, these people that end up hurting me, they could choose to do something different, but I could also choose to walk away from them. And that's a different type of strength that it takes for you to learn how to balance that out within yourself, and then also understand how to swerve the people that will do things like that to you on top of that, right? And to break your codependency, or your need on needing to be accepted. Because when you are walking around with the need to be accepted, you're going to attract people who are going to be like, sure, I'll fill that space, and then I'll flip it around on you. And, but it won't always be that way. It won't always be that way. You will, find your victory, but you have to make a choice, right? Yeah. And it can be hard evolving out of this state and coming to a space where you can allow someone who will really actually do the things that you really want from a partner, or you really want from a friend, or you really want from a family, right? It sometimes can be hard to allow. You have to learn how to heal enough to allow this energy to come into your life. How to energetically match with that same energy. And it just takes, healing. It takes acknowledgement. It takes going through those awakening processes, right? Or processes, whatever. Yeah, exactly. It takes you finding the type of strength to really sit in that independence, to sit in that, healthy type of independence, and break any of those codependencies on that. Yeah, just take spirits like it just takes work, it just takes time, to heal that and to get to that space. And it might seem kind of confusing, like, how do I get there? What road do I take? What's gonna bring me there? I know where I need to go, but what road is actually gonna take me there? What technique? What can I use? What, who can I talk to? How do I actually do that? Learning how to reparent and re-care for yourself after you have felt like you're constantly being taken from. It can be hard. There are a lot of resources out there, though, and it can also get hard. It can also somehow feel like, even when you know how to go out there and you start researching and you start learning how to do it, it can be hard to remain consistent in that, because you can get to a place where you have to face giving yourself that time, right? And not feeling like you're being selfish, or not feeling like you're being lazy because you're giving yourself those off days. You're giving yourself those days to sit down. You're giving yourself those days to process. You're giving yourself those days where you are going, I don't know, and going to get a massage, or spending all day just sitting in the park, or going to the pool, or, traveling, or going to, going somewhere, or going out and buying your favorite meal and fixing it for yourself, right? Experiencing things that really help to connect you and to heal that inner child inside of yourself. It can be really hard sometimes to, when you have felt like this in the past, to allow that to happen, because a lot of the times we were surrounded by people who denied that. So again, right, it's shifting those old paradigms and unlearning all of that miscare of yourself, right? And sometimes it can seem like a mystery, or it can seem like, well, but how do I do this? How do I remain consistent with it? How do I not see this as, I don't want to say something like a burden, but it's like sometimes I have felt like, oh, I have so much other stuff to do. I need to give, I myself have been working with giving self-care a priority, giving it the proper time and the proper energy that it deserves. Um, and not feeling like, oh, taking the time to do a mask on my face or sit down and, do like a pedicure or manicure, or, you know, um, either giving that time to do it myself or going out and paying for a service to do it. Sometimes it can be hard to be like, no, this is just as important as anything else, because we can have this poverty mindset of feeling like this is extra, right? It can get to a point where it feels like, it, do I have the time? Do I have the money? Do I have the resources? Do I have um, this? Do I have, do I have that want? I do have a want to do it, right? But pushing myself to do it, to be like, no, stop. It's okay if you don't film tonight. It's okay if you don't get that done, so that you can also do what you need to do for yourself, to have that time for yourself, to have that energy for yourself. Stop giving so much, and also have some time that you give back to yourself, right? So it's 1:11 down on the clock. So yeah, that's what I feel like. I feel like that's, if you feel like you resonate with this, hopefully something that I said really helped you realize, okay, yes, I do need to spend that time with myself. Okay, yes, it is okay that sometimes I feel like I struggle at taking care of myself, or giving myself the energy or the time or the finances or whatever it is, the resources that I do deserve, because you might struggle from past issues with this, right? Um, it's okay. You don't have to be perfect in this journey. It's okay that sometimes you struggle. It's okay that sometimes things are difficult, and you might be like, why? And I just want you to know, you're not alone in this. There are a lot of other people out there who I have heard, who I have seen in, in books, and in the research that I've done on, especially on reparenting myself, um, some of the different psychological struggles that you have with how you were taught to think about yourself, how you were taught to not prioritize yourself, right? To put yourself at the end of all of your priority list, right? Um, and it's okay. It is something that you need to be working on, and that you need to, don't be scared to face it, but also don't beat yourself up about it. Be gentle with yourself about it, because that's also a major part of reparenting yourself, is not calling yourself lazy, or not calling or not being like, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? Why can't you do this, and that, you know, be a little bit more easy and gentle with yourself. And I know how easy it can be to slip back into that old thought process of, I must not be good enough because I can't do all of the stuff all at once, and you're not supposed to, right? um, yes, there are some things in life that are just like, yeah, you have to do multiple things, or you have to, you have to fit multiple roles. And sometimes that can be very energetically draining, especially right now with everything that we're going through, with all these eclipses and everything astrologically that we're going through. Um, it's out there in the collective that you might feel low energy, or that you might have a heart, that you might be having a hard time right now juggling all of these things that you're being asked to do, and that's okay. It's okay to not be the strong one all the time. It's okay to falter sometimes. It's okay to feel like, wow, I'm doing all this, but I am really struggling with some things, and that's okay, right? And I know you might be like, no, it's not okay that I feel like I'm struggling, but you're not supposed to be perfect all the time. And don't forget, you don't have to do this alone, right? You don't have to do this alone. There are resources out there. There are people out there. Trust and have faith in that, right? All right, you guys, thank you so much for being here with me today. I really appreciate you guys. Let me know, as always, if you feel comfortable, if this resonated for you down in the comment section down below. If you like the content, give it a like. Please check out all the links in the description box down below. All right, I hope this brought some love, light, and clarity into your life. Thank you for being here. If you're not subscribed to the channel, think about subscribing, joining the tribe, and hitting that bell notification, okay, so when you can know when you're uploaded. If you feel drawn to any of my other readings, please go check those out as well. If you feel guided to share, I also thank you for that as well. Really appreciate all of you guys, okay? And I will see you in the next one. Bye.